So you can see the micro cabin on the trailer behind us. These are special trailers. These haulers are made to take prefab sheds, pull them up on a ramp, and then lower them back down on the ramp. They're gonna be using a small vehicle called a mule to move this prefab shed. I didn't know any of these tools existed 6 months ago. Actually, I didn't know they existed a month ago. We were researching these sheds to see if it would work as a shell for a tiny home. Once we learned how mobile these sheds truly are with the trailer and the mule for positioning, it makes so much sense to use these as a prefab cabin. Cabin is finally here. I say finally, we ordered it 2 weeks ago, but we're thrilled that it's here because now we can really start moving on all the off-grid systems that plug into this cabin shell. This cabin shell is 200 square feet. The cabin is 10 by 20 feet, and it's about 7 to 8 feet tall in the front. We haven't measured it yet. And then about 6 to 7 feet tall in the back. It's got a very gradual roof slope to it. We can get away with that in Georgia because we don't have heavy snow load. If you're in a state or a region of the world with heavy snow loads, you need a steeper roof to shed snow more efficiently. Here, we hardly ever see snow, so a gradual grade on the roof is not a big deal. And we wanted one simple roof, just a square for a roof, to allow rainwater catchment to be more simplistic, to have one gutter going along the back. When you're building a long-term off-grid cabin and using a shed shell like this, it is really better to get residential doors. These came with the cabin on the lot. This is something that we just wanted to purchase as is, and then we'll retrofit it as needed. So now we're gonna actually start moving things around the cabin to get systems in place. We're gonna move the IBC rainwater tanks to the back of the cabin. We're gonna clear these cinder blocks that we didn't need for leveling the cabin up towards the front so we can level our deck. We're gonna move the raised beds to either side of the deck, and then we'll start just getting things organized for future systems being implemented. One of the reasons we really like this cabin shed shell design is it has quite a few windows on it. The double doors have windows, there's a window to the left and right of the double doors, and there's a window on the left and right wall of the cabin. We face the cabin towards the south to take advantage of southern sunlight in the wintertime to warm up the cabin building. This is not a true passive building, not yet at least, and it probably won't be fully passive at any point in time because we are leveraging the AC unit or the micro wood stove, but if we can make the building partially passive, it'll reduce the amount of heating we have to do in the building. So we've got it here on the edge of the tree line, facing south, to take advantage of the southern sunbeams coming in to warm the cabin space. Okay, we've got the raised beds moved into position. We've got the solid capstone pavers for a little bitty foundation where the deck is gonna go. We've got the rainwater IBC tanks moved into the back. So now we're gonna go pick up the deck. This is the deck that we had in front of the canvas tent at my house. So we're repurposing this little wooden deck to go in front of the micro cabin. We've also got the black battery case for the big lithium batteries to power the micro cabin. We've got the table saw that we're going to be using for small carpentry projects like the bathhouse, leveling the deck, and other miscellaneous projects to get the off-grid cabin all shipshape. We're going to plug the table saw into the Delta EcoFlow. The Delta EcoFlow, of course, is being powered by Old Faithful, our 400-watt solar panel, to help us get the build project all going. So we've got a deck now. It's not perfect yet. but it's very functional. We've got a few cinder block steps. We've got the deck eyeball leveled. We'll level it up more with some shims later. But for now, just to be able to, you know, cut pieces of wood on, have a transition into the tiny cabin, this deck works great. These skids are part of the magic of the portable building here. These skids allow this building to be moved around with that robotic mule that you've seen in other footage. And the skids also allow the entire structure to be hauled up by one of those trailers that can tilt to unload the trailer just about anywhere. The drip edging above me is one of the elements we really liked about this shed design. Some of the cabin shells or sheds don't have a roof line or a drip line that makes it super easy to install gutters for rainwater collection. This shed has a perfect drip line for rainwater catchment. You can see the tin roofing hangs over about 2 inches, and then we've got the drip edging underneath of the tin roofing. Ben and I can install gutters very quickly underneath of that, routing the water down into our food grade IBC tanks for the rainwater collection. We're gonna build a small 6x6 bathhouse, which is gonna be connected to this little cabin just via a covered deck area. So because the cabin's 10 by 20 feet, you don't really want a composting toilet right in there if you ever plan on having friends and family over. You could, and if everyone's cool with there being a toilet basically in the living room covered up by a little wall or something. We like the idea of the toilet area being a separate building because this living space is so small. So we'll have basically a fancy outhouse here that is around 6 by 6 feet, and it's gonna have the home biogas toilet. Positioning is important when using the home biogas toilet. The shed is close enough. If we did want to put the home biogas toilet inside of the micro cabin, we totally could, and then run the outflow line to the home biogas tank right here. However, we've left enough room here to put our little wash house. That'll have like a shower or a little bath area, and then the sink, and then the home biogas toilet. And we'll make sure it's insulated and it's warm and snug, but that is gonna be located right here, strategically positioned next to the home biogas unit. And the home biogas also has to be close to wherever you wanna be cooking on the methane burner, the grill top. So having the home biogas within about 10 to 20 feet of the cabin is pretty key. We really like the way this was finished out on the inside because there's 16-inch on-center studs. That's the spec for residential building. Not that the whole micro shell is up to residential codes, it's probably not, but these sheds are built to a higher degree of quality than most portable sheds. So the studs being close together is great. The roof is fairly low, but none of us are super tall people. We like how it's gonna be more of a cozy fit, but this low slung shed style roof, you know, will allow us to put hooks for storage and other types of cool features. All the windows in here give a lot of natural light, which we think is great. Behind me, we'll either have a Murphy bed or a like memory foam mattress on a frame on a pulley system that we can raise and lower, and then have a little bitty desk area by the window where you could work on your laptop, a little area where you could eat at, a spot where you could study or do work. So you could raise the bed up, fold the bed up in the daytime, and then that's your little workspace area or a spot to hang out with folks. So everything in this micro cabin has to be dual purpose, triple purpose, or quadruple purpose. We're working with 200 square feet. That's a tenth the size of like the average American home. The tiny house micro wood stove is gonna go here towards the middle of the building. We want that heat to be able to radiate out throughout the 200 square feet pretty evenly. We don't want one corner or one half of the building that gets really hot and roasting. So the stove will be right here towards the back, and we'll position that so that the vent pipe can go up and then back out through the back wall of the micro shed. This area here is where we're gonna have basically your little kitchen counter, your sink area, in addition to like just a temporary nighttime toilet if you're not gonna go out to like the bathhouse area with the home biogas toilet. So that can be put away during the daytime. But with the kitchen area over here, and then more of just like a general workspace, you know, you could think of it as a great room or dining room space. It's just gonna have your sink where you can wash up. It's gonna have the AC unit tucked away over here, in addition to more storage for any types of pots, pans. So part of this exercise is downsizing the area you have to put things so you don't have as many things to deal with. This is the corner of the micro cabin that's closest to the methane digester. So the methane digester will run a gas line in here where you can turn on the methane cooktop to be cooking on a skillet, on a griddle, on, you know, in a pot, making stew, scrambled eggs, I mean, anything you normally would. on a regular stove. So that's it. You've seen the outside, the inside, and the facets of the cabin shell. We're so excited to start integrating the solar panel system, the methane digester with the home biogas, the solar ovens, rainwater collection, all these other systems that plug in to this micro cabin. We are super excited to keep sharing this journey with you all, just to give you ideas and inspiration for your own sustainable projects or off-grid projects and everything in between. If you want to dive deeper, we put together a 10-hour course where we talk about all these systems in depth. If you want to learn how to build your own solar punk world with real-life technology, check out the Acorn Off-Grid Systems course. We're currently offering a 50% discount because we really want to make it available to everyone that's interested. We wish we could give everything away for free, but then we wouldn't be able to continue working on the project because it does take time and money. We put a ton of our own time and funds into these projects to help educate you. The way you can support us is if you want to learn more in that off-grid course. The code is ACORN50. We so appreciate it. We are just thrilled to have such an awesome fan base. We hope you enjoy these episodes and we hope you learn a thing or two. Bye for now.